Hi, my name is Tom, and I would like to share with you this mobile that I designed and built using a few basic hand tools, a saw, a few files, and a planer, and just a few materials: wood, coat hangers, some thread, and some jewelry findings. First, a bit of background about this project. As you can see, this entire structure rests on a tiny spot about the size of a dime where the ship's rudder rests atop of the mast which serves as the pedestal. I'm going to give it a quick lift up to show you that it's not connected in any way other than just the weight of the structure. There it goes, and back down. Hopefully I can get it balanced right there. And there it is. And now before I show the movie, let me give you a quick tour of the mobile and its various components, which I'll explain to you in the movie. I hope you enjoy it and have a great day. Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having no money in my purse and nothing particular to interest me on shore, I thought I would sail about and see the watery part of the world. But our hero does not simply go on a cruise as a mere passenger, but chose to go to sea as a common sailor on a whaling ship. So he left New York and traveled to New Bedford. Shipmates, Father Maple exhorted to his congregation of sailors, whalers, wives, and widows. I do not place Jonah before you for his sins, but I do place him before you as a model of his redemption. This was the sermon that Father Maple gave, that Ishmael and Queequeg attended before leaving New Bedford to travel to Nantucket to find a whaling ship. Ishmael and his new bosom friend Queequeg, the noble Polynesian harpooner, go to the island of Nantucket and sign on for a 3-year voyage on the whaling ship the Pequod. Ishmael tells us the Pequod was a rare old craft, her complexion darkened like a French grenadier who's fought in Egypt and Siberia. Like Melville, I'll spend a few moments now to discuss the business of whaling. There you stand, 100 feet above the silent deck, lost in the infinite series of the seas, with nothing ruffled but the waves. The crew would take turns aloft, but the lookout could not daydream while on watch for other ships or whales. If he spotted a whale, he would yell, "There she blows!" and the whaleboats would be lowered, and the chase would begin. The whaleboats were sturdy craft that would be rowed, sailed, and paddled toward their giant prey. At only 25 feet, the small craft were a third the size of the whale. When they pulled near, a harpoon attached to a rope would be hurled into the unsuspecting mammal, who would flee in fright, giving the small boat a Nantucket sleigh ride. After exhausting the whale, the crew would pull its small boat close enough to kill it with lances and spears. Once dead, they would need to drag the huge beast back to the boat, often 5 or 6 miles, to claim its bounty. Back at the ship, the blubber would be cut off the carcass and boiled down in large cisterns called tryouts to derive the valuable oil that would then be stored in barrels for the long journey home, where it would be used in lamps and to lubricate the machines of the new industrialized world. I will now focus on the major characters of the novel. First, Captain Ahab, the mysterious master of the Pequod, whose obsession drives the novel. Ahab lost his leg to Moby Dick many years before. Ishmael, upon seeing him for the first time, I hardly noted that not a little of this overbearing grimness was owing to the barbaric white leg upon which he partly stood. This object here represents Ahab's missing leg. Ahab puts a bounty on the demon beast, a gold doubloon coin that he nails to the mast. To the crew member who first sights Moby Dick, little Pip observes of the coin, "Here's the ship's navel, this doubloon here, and they are all on fire to unscrew it. But you unscrew your navel, and what's the consequences?" Pip is one of the most popular members of the crew. He often entertains the others on the ship with his tambourine. Queequeg is so certain that he's going to die on this voyage that he hires the ship's carpenter to build him a coffin. In addition to looking for whales, the lookout at the top of the masthead also was on the lookout for other ships. During its long voyage, the Pequod met many other ships. In one such an encounter, they met the Rachel, another whaler from Nantucket that had a recent encounter with Moby Dick. The captain of the Rachel boards the Pequod and desperately asked Ahab to help him find a missing whaleboat that contains his 12-year-old son. Ahab refused when the other captain tried to take control of the Pequod. Ahab bellowed, "Avast! Touch not a rope yarn, Captain Gardner. I will not do it. Even now I lose time." Gardner, heartbroken, leaves the Pequod and returns to the Rachel. And the two ships diverged their ways. Ahab back to his pursuit of the white whale, and the Rachel, which wept with spray for her missing children, continued its search for the missing whaleboat with Gardner's missing son. The small whaleboat, perhaps a victim of Moby Dick, or perhaps all alone amid the cruel and massive sea, waiting to be rescued. And finally, the object of Ahab's obsession, Moby Dick, his scarred and harpooned body, bloodied by the many battles over the years. But he continues to haunt the ocean in Ahab's nightmares. After abandoning the Rachel, Ahab and his crew continue their search for Moby Dick, and they finally find him. And after chasing and battling him for 3 days, in the end, the hunted becomes the hunter, and Moby Dick overwhelms his pursuers, and the sea swallows Ahab, the Pequod, its small boats, and all its crew in a watery vortex. Only one emerges from the watery vortex, Ishmael, who, while thrashing in the water, spots a floating wooden object that could serve as his life raft. It was Queequeg's coffin. He would cling tightly to it for a day and through the long night until he spotted a sail in the distance. It was the Rachel, Ishmael tells us after his rescue, still searching for her missing children, only to find another orphan. The shroud of the sea rolled on as it rolled